Hello there. Today is the 8th of September 2009 and I'm in South Normanton with John Magee, who's a senior quantity surveyor, and he works for a company called James Lathwood in Birmingham, and we're going to ask him a few questions about his job. So John, before we start, can you tell me, where did you go to school and did you enjoy your experience there?
Well, I started off at a primary school, St Mary's, which was actually linked to a church. Very disciplined, very strict, but I did enjoy my time. When I went up to secondary school, which was a hierarchical school in Sedgley, it was a lot more relaxed. You got to be more of an adult and you made your own decisions on things you did rather than the teachers making decisions for you. And I think that kind of helps you in later life, learning that process a bit earlier.
Right. And so from school then, did you go on to university?
I had a sixth form associated with the school, so I went on to sixth form and I did 2 A-levels in 1 year rather than 2 years, which is maths and physics. At that point I probably still didn't have any idea of what I wanted to do for a career. I took the A-levels because that was expected. I then went on to college to do a mechanical electrical course. Still no idea of what I really wanted to do. Just pure chance then, I saw a job advertised for a quantity surveyor in Dudley, so I wrote for that. It was a trainee's position, and I then went on to college and university whilst on that job on a day release.
Okay, great. And so can you give us a brief summary of your employment from leaving school then to now?
Well, at the age of 17, as I said, I left with 2 A-levels, 8 GCSEs or O-levels as they were at the time. I then went on to work for a company called Tweeds, and I was there for nearly 15 years, where I worked my way up to associate quantity surveyor. It was a large company, albeit the branch office of Dudley was quite small. They moved on to Birmingham. After the, say, 14 to 16 years that I was there, I decided it was time to move on. I went on to become a development manager with a company called Sapcoats. From Sapcoats, I learned all about development, purchasing land, sales, residential. After 2 years of being at Sapcoats, I set up my own development business, which I had for 5 or 6 years. I then sold that business, had a year off, if I'm honest about it, not doing a lot, just facilitating land. And then I joined James Lathwood as their senior quantity surveyor about 12, 14 months ago.
Wow, so that's quite a varied career then.
Yeah, it is, yeah, but I think it's important that you don't look down one track. It's okay being a quantity surveyor, but from quantity surveying you could be a project manager, you could go on to agency side. I happen to see a route through development, and it's always been my ambition to run my own company, really.
Okay, great. So now you're a senior quantity surveyor. What's the best aspect and worst aspect of the job?
I think the best aspect has always been the same. It's so varied. 1 minute you can be working on a joint services centre worth £7.5 million. You're in the office 3 or 4 days a week. You're out of the office 2 or 3 days a week. You get to meet people. You attend meetings. You chair meetings. It gives you confidence in other things that you do outside of work. And it's just the variation of what you do or not do is the good part. The bad part is you never really switch off. It's not really a 9 till 5 job. It's not 5 days a week. Sometimes it can be 6, sometimes it's 7, sometimes you can be in the office till 10, sometimes you can be in the morning at 5. You have to do what the job dictates you have to do to get it finished, and that's probably the bad side. But if you're weak, you get people, meetings, confidence in other things outside. And what you do, is the good part, bad part, never really switch. 9 till a week, it can not 5 days a week, it can sometimes a week, it can sometimes a week, it can sometimes a week, it can still 10 weeks, it can you can be in the weeks, it can at 5 weeks, it can you have to weeks, it can the job is the weeks, it can to do to get a week. Shouldn't be the bad side, shouldn't be the week, shouldn't be shouldn't be people, shouldn't be meeting, shouldn't be shouldn't be meeting, shouldn't be confidence, shouldn't be other things, shouldn't be outside meetings, and meetings, the very meetings, what you do meetings is the meetings, good part, meetings, bad part, meetings, never really switch. 9 till 8, not 5 to 8, sometimes 8, sometimes 8, sometimes 8, we're still 10, 8, once you give me them 8 at 5, you have the job to do to get the bad side of the week, you get people, meetings, you could get confidence, you could get other things, you could get outside, you could get and you could get the you could get what you do, you could get good part, bad part, never really sweet. 9 till 5, sometimes 6, sometimes we still 10. Once you give me them at 5, you have the job to do to get the bad side of the week. You get people, meetings, and confidence and other things outside and what you do. It's good part, bad part, never really sweet. 9 till 5, sometimes sometimes we still 10. Once you give me them at 5, you have the job to do to get the bad side of the week. I then went people, I then went meeting, I then went meetings, I then went confidence, I then went other things, I then went outside, I then went and what you do is the good part, bad part, never really sweet. 9 till 10 went up, then went up, 5 then went up, sometimes then went up, 6 sometimes then went up, sometimes then went up, we still 10 then went up, once you give me them then went up at 5 then went up, you have then went up, the job then went up to do to get to do the bad side to do the week, to do you get to do people, to do meetings, to do you get to do meetings, to do confidence, other things outside and what you do is the good part, bad part, high level, never really sweet level, 9 till high level, not 5 high level, sometimes high level, 6 sometimes high level, sometimes high level, we still 10 high level, once you give me them high level at 5,
Right.
you have
Right.
the job
Right.
to do to get
Right. Right.
the bad side
Right.
of the week,
Right.
you get
Right.
people,
Right.
meetings,
Right.
you get an adult, meetings, an adult, confidence, an adult, other thing, an adult, outside, an adult, and an adult, what you do, an adult, is the an adult, good part, school, bad part, which was to a church, never really sweet, 9 till school, which was not 5 to a church, sometimes, 6 sometimes, we still 10.
A company called
Once you give me them
Wood in,
at 5, you have
and
the job to do to
we're
get
going to ask him about his job.
the bad side of the week.
Before we
You get people, meetings, confidence, other things outside, and what you do is the good part, bad part, never really sweet. 9 till 5, sometimes 6, sometimes still 10. Once you give me them at 5, you have the job to do to get the bad side of the week. You get people, meetings,
a company called
confidence,
Wood in,
other things outside,
and we're going to ask him about his job.
what you do is the
Before we
good part, school, bad part, which was to a church, never really sweet. 9 till school, which was not 5 to a church, sometimes 6, sometimes an adult, we still 10, an adult, once you give me them, an adult at 5, an adult, you have an adult, the job is an adult to do to get an adult, the bad side of an adult a week, an adult, you get an adult people,
right,
meetings,
right,
right,
meetings, right, right,
confidence,
right,
other things
right,
outside,
right, right,
and
right, right,
what you do high level is the high level, good part, high level, bad part, high level, never really sweet, high level, 9 till high level, not 5, sometimes, 6, sometimes, we still 10, once you give me them, at 5, you have the job to do to get the bad side, to do the week, to do you get to do people, to do meetings, to do you get to do meetings, to do confidence, to do other things, to do outside, to do then went on and then went on then went on what you do, then went on is the then went on good part, then went on bad part, then went on never really sweet, then went on 9 till not 5 sometimes 6, sometimes it's still 10. You can be them at 5. You have the job. I then went to get. I then went to the bad side. I then went to week. I then went people. I then went meetings. I then went meetings. I then went for other things outside.